word time.
Yes.
We have another weekend word. The weekend word this time is
Consecrate.
Separate so you can elevate.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. All right. You want me to take it away?
Yeah, take it away.
Okay.
Take it away.
So as I was writing today, we are seeking God for a weekend word to encourage and inspire you all. And what came to me was consecrate, separate, so then you can elevate, because there are times in our life where God will call us away from the crowd or away from a particular thing so that he can then have us come and be in a place of quietness and stillness. So that's the consecration part where you come unto God. Separate yourself is the next thing, right? Because we're consecrating and separating. And sometimes when we're consecrating, he'll call us to a fast. Sometimes he'll call us just to sit and be still so that he can speak to us. But then he said, so then you can elevate, because a lot of times when he is about to promote you, or you're about getting ready to be promoted in an area, then that is a time where you will be separated. Sometimes separated, like I said, from people, sometimes separated from a particular thing or activity you were doing. Say, for example, you're a basketball player and you are you're out there and you are going for it. You are practicing hard and you're putting in all that work, but then there's a time where you have to rest because your muscles need to rest. I mean, basketball players, my husband probably can speak on it better than I can, but that's just what came to me. Basketball players have that time where they're putting in the work, they're exercising, they're eating right. And then there's a time where they're like, look, I need to come away. I need to take some time, go on a vacation or go on a mini vacation, because I need to then rejuvenate. And that time is what I'm talking about, that time for separation. And then what might happen next is promotion. So then they may be getting ready to play that big game. Okay. They may be even preparing for that that major game. What is the major games that they play?
The championship game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
for the NBA, you go through the NBA finals, the playoffs, the NBA finals, and then, the championship game. So let me ask you this. So what are some of the things you do to consecrate and to separate?
Well, each time it may be different. So let's say, for example, right now I feel like I've been in that place for the last 3 months, almost 3 months. I am, by my work, my career has been that of a travel respiratory therapist. So my last assignment, I was working in Wilmington, and that ended in November. So for the last 3 months, I have been in a place of really separating myself from just some things, like even eating certain things for a time where I wanted to eat a particular thing, but I couldn't eat it. I could not eat it for a time, and sometimes I like to watch medical shows. And then sometimes I'll separate from watching TV, and I won't watch any TV or do any social media. So each time is different. It just depends, but I do seek the Lord because I'm big on seeking God. I'm not saying being religious, but I'm big on seeking the Lord for instructions, because I find that when I try to do it on my own, like just say, for example, I'm going to separate myself from, let's say, not being on the phone for 24 hours. And then an emergent call might come. But if God told me to separate, if he says, okay, Keisha, I need you to turn your phone off for the next 24 hours because I need for you to ... You fill in the blank. Then I know that if there is something emergent, he's going to take care of it. Not that he wouldn't if I just wanted to do it on my own, but I find it easier to do it when God has called me to that separation time or that consecration time for then that next promotion.
Okay, so give some some context. Give us an example of when you have consecrated, separated, and you elevated. Because for me, I notice sometime when I'm consecrated during a fast, it does separate me from certain foods and certain attitudes and certain different things, because when you're not on the fast, you're not as disciplined sometime as you are when you're on it. So name some things that, situations that is actually you've separated, you consecrated, separated, and then you elevated. Like, what is? I know what you're saying, but I want to like, can you give a little bit more context?
Well, just like recently, there was I was on a actual fast for 3 days, and my husband talked about being disciplined more. I honestly find that it's different for different seasons. That even when I'm on, and I'll answer your question, but I want to just give this background. That sometimes even when I'm on a fast, it doesn't mean that I'm more disciplined. It means that sometimes I have to press my way through because my flesh is screaming every fast. My flesh is saying, no, this is what I want to do. And then I have to subdue my flesh because my flesh is screaming. So my husband is very disciplined on fast. He's very, when it comes down to it, let me tell you, this last fast we were on together, it was a 3-day consecration and fast. And what happened was, by an hour before time, I was like, okay, look, we getting ready to go. Let's go ahead and get in line so that we can go ahead and eat, because this time we was consecrating fasting from food. And I was like, we need to go ahead and go out there because it's Saturday, and that people are gonna we need to go. He was like, Keisha, I'm not even thinking about food right now. And I was like, but such and such. My flesh was screaming and trying to pull him in. I'm just being real with you all.
But it wasn't 12 yet.
Because we were doing a partial fast this particular time. And so, every time is different.
Right.
And if it depends. So this particular fast, going into his question, he said, and then what does that look like? So this particular fast, I was actually getting ready to do an assignment that the Lord was calling me to do. So my flesh was screaming times 2, if you will. It's screaming for that food, and then it was screaming for this because it knew I was getting ready to go into an assignment. So that's what I mean. But the elevation part came from him snapping me back into reality and like, look, you need to get your mind on Jesus. You need to get your mind off food and get your mind on Jesus. And I was like, he snapped me back into it. It was a rebuke. But I took it because I was like, he right. Lord, help me. I'm just telling you the realness. But what came from that was strength. That's the elevation that came from it.
That's what I'm looking for.
It was strength.
That's what I'm looking for. So that's what I'm saying. Those are the things that I think that sometimes is helpful. When, we give the weekend word, some things that people can hear in a certain context, like, this actually worked for me because I did it this way, and this was the result. That can, motivate them and kind of give them hope that, okay, if I can, consecrate, separate, and then, if I'm really, truly doing it, I can elevate.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Another thing that happened was a renewed mind.
Yeah.
And my husband, again, snapped me back into it. I mean, he was just like, I was like, what?
Ain't 12
but
yet.
I was like trying to really
won't 12 yet.
Manifesting.
She was manifesting, y'all.
Manifesting, okay?
She's manifesting.
But I thank God for a word of wisdom and the fact that he was able to, a word of rebuke, that even though it stung at the moment, it was right. That's it for me.
Hey, that's all I got too. Hey, consecrate, separate.
So then
you can elevate.
All right.
That's it,
Until
y'all.
next time.